What's up, guys? GameNut here, and welcome back to my NFL regular season predictions. Week number 5 is now upon us, but let's of course go ahead and take a look at last week to see how well we did end up scoring. And as you guys can see it, man, thankfully we had ourselves a bounce back week after week 3, man. I think we had a 6-10 record for week 3, and like I said, you guys can see it here, had a nice bounce back week, a strong one, 11-4. I'm pretty proud of that record, man. Definitely a pretty solid score there. But you guys can see on the other hand, Madden 21, they did not do so hot, man. Once again, going below 50%. Only a 7-8 record for week number 4, but you know what? I'm happy to see it, man. Continuing to extend our lead once again over Madden 21 as we're heading in here into the second quarter of the NFL. So heading into week number 5, and as for starters, let's go ahead and address the teams on a bye, which we've got the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. And man, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, they look lethal this year, man. I'm telling you, they're definitely going to be one of the top teams in the seeding for playoffs when it comes down to the end of the year for the NFC, man. They look so good. But as of right now, this is Friday when I do record these, and like I said, right now, no other games have been canceled or postponed due to COVID and all that BS. So if any of them do eventually happen, you know, here in the next couple of days, obviously I will know what happens. It's just I'm not going to re-record this, like I said. So we'll just have to deal with that in the next episode if it does come to that and happens. But anyways, for this one, we go ahead and start off now with Thursday Night Football, where we had the 3-1 Buccaneers going to take on the 3-1 Chicago Bears. And man, I won't lie, for this game, I definitely picked the Buccaneers. I thought Tom Brady was going to win this game. I don't know. They look like they're starting to get even better each week. I saw the stat like they showed on screen during that game, where it showed over the 4 weeks of the season so far, Tom Brady, like his passer rating has gotten better and better. So, like I'm saying, that's what I said before. He's going to get more comfortable being in the Buccaneers offense, and, you know, he's going to get better. But, man, they just couldn't squeak out that win, man. It was definitely a pretty good game. A lot of defensive battles, I guess you could say, because it wasn't super high scoring. But I definitely picked the Buccaneers to win this game, man, and the Chicago Bears, they are the team that moved on to be 4-1. So next up, the first game on our Sunday schedule, we've got ourselves the Los Angeles Rams sitting at 3-1, going to take on the football team who is sitting at 1-3. Obviously, this is a pretty easy prediction here, man. We're going to be going with the LA Rams, no doubt. The football team, man, they're just, they got their issues. I'm pretty sure they're not starting Dwayne Haskins this week as well. I'm not too sure if they decided to finally bench him this week yet or not. But regardless, the Rams, they're obviously a much better team, and I would be pretty surprised if I saw Washington come out with a win in this one. Next game up on the schedule, we've got ourselves the Philadelphia Eagles, now sitting at 1-2-1, going to take on the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, now coming off their bye week, sitting at 3-0. But as for this matchup, man, obviously, as you guys know, not the biggest Steelers fan, you could say that, but I'm obviously going to be rooting for the Eagles to win this game, man. But if I'm going to be realistic and actually guess the game correctly, obviously we're going with the Steelers here, man. It's just they're coming off, you know, their bye week pretty early in the season, so if anything, all their guys, they're well rested. They're definitely ready and prepared to come out into this game after missing last week. But on top of it, they're playing the Eagles, and they got a ton of issues, man. Tons of problems across the roster. It's a mess, and it's just, it would be hard to see the Steelers lose this game. But like I said, definitely rooting for the Eagles, and I wouldn't mind seeing the Steelers lose. The Arizona Cardinals started off their season pretty hot, won the first 2 after then dropping the last 2 weeks, so they now sit at 2-2, going to now take on the winless New York Jets, once again winless, sitting at now 0-4, man. Poor New York. I feel so bad for the New York football teams, man. It's crazy, but obviously for this game, we got to go with the Cardinals. They're the team that knows how to get wins. The Jets, they got some injuries, they got their problems. Obviously, they're just not the greatest roster in general, but hey, man, it's going to be Joe Flacco starting for the Jets, man. So I definitely cannot wait to watch the red zone for that and get to see my man Joe Flacco starting for a team once again. So I'm obviously happy about that. So hey, if he gets the win though, I won't be mad that I got this prediction wrong, but there's no way the Jets are winning, but I'm definitely rooting for my man Flacco. A divisional matchup here, we've now got ourselves the Las Vegas Raiders, 2-2, going to take on the 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know I always say this every single year. You guys are used to me saying it. I always say division matchups, they're always played super tough. Doesn't matter how good one team or bad the other team is. They're always played tough, man. Anything can happen in division games, I feel like. But for this matchup, even though saying that, I definitely think it could be a close one. I think the Raiders are going to give the Chiefs a tough time, but I think end of the game, it's going to be Chiefs coming out on top, man. It's hard to pick against them. They're so deadly right now. They look like nobody can stop them. But like I said, division matchups, I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it will be close, and the Raiders will give them a run for their money, but no way that Kansas City ends up losing it. Looks like we got quite a few divisional matchup games this week, which definitely makes a lot of sense because I feel like there hasn't been a whole lot of those so far this year in the NFL, so makes sense we got some division games happening this week. Next up, with the Jacksonville Jaguars now sitting at 1-3, going to take on the Houston Texans, who now sit winless at 0-4, man. The Houston Texans, bro, it's crazy, man. Bill O'Brien, he put those guys in a hole, man, and now he finally gets fired. I mean, it is going to be a rough patch that the Texans have to get themselves out of right now to be able to get themselves to be a winning football team again. But as for this matchup, obviously, it's a battle of the trash cans, I guess you could say, to put it lightly. Obviously, they're bottom 2-tier teams in their division, but I'm going to go with Houston, man. I keep trying to pick them, and I feel like at some point they're going to get their first win of the season, and this is definitely a good one, man, because Jags, they're definitely not as good either, and I feel like the Texans should definitely be able to come out on top of this game. They seem like they're the better team, and I don't know, man. It would seem crazy to see Deshaun Watson and the Texans to continue to lose and then go 0-5. Next divisional matchup, and it is my team, my Baltimore Ravens, now sitting at 3-1. Pretty solid record. I'm happy with it. The Cincinnati Bengals, they are coming to take us on as they now sit at 1-2-1. That stupid tie, man. Like, I hate looking at it. But obviously for this game, my Ravens, we're going to crush the Bengals, man. This should be a pretty easy win. I mean, Cincinnati, don't get me wrong, I like Joe Burrow. I think he's going to be decent. You know, give him time over the next few years as they build a team. I think he's going to be decent. But obviously with this season and the way that the Bengals roster is, they don't have a defense, man. That's just their own monster. Like, they're one of the worst in the league. And then the offense, it's really just Burrow and then Joe Mixon. I mean, they don't really have many weapons to throw to. I feel like the offensive line's just not good, and like I said, over time, it's going to take a while for Burrow to be able to flourish on that team. But like I said, my Ravens, man, we bounced back last week against the football team. Still looked a little bit sloppy, but it's okay because we got some bad teams we're matching up here against the next few weeks. So it's a good time to get our kinks out. But obviously, we should definitely be able to put up a lot of points against the Bengals here. Next division game, we've got ourselves the Carolina Panthers now sitting at 2-2, going to take on another winless team in the league, man. The Atlanta Falcons also now sitting at 0-4. It's crazy to see, man. For this game, though, I hope I don't regret doing this. I'm going to go with the upset, I guess some people would call this, but I'm picking the Falcons, man, to finally get their first win of the season. Look, they seem like they're a solid team. I mean, they have one of like the highest scoring offenses in the league, and they can't win a game. It's just like, I don't know what you say about that, man. It's crazy scenes you're seeing over there at Atlanta. But as for this matchup, man, it's division. It's home for the Falcons. I feel like, you know, they're definitely capable of beating the Panthers, man. I feel like this is the week they finally are able to get their first win. Man, I swear, the San Francisco 49ers, they are so lucky this year, man. I mean, you go to the Super Bowl, and then they get this easy of a schedule. I mean, they got the Giants, the Jets, and now the Dolphins, bro. Like, you gotta be kidding me. They're definitely thinking they're lucky stars that this is the time that, you know, a lot of their players got injured because they're playing pretty bad teams, so they don't need their best starting players, obviously. But now going to take on the Miami Dolphins, they sit at 1-3. The Niners are now at 2-2. And obviously, we're going to be going with the Niners to win this game, man. They're definitely the better roster. They should be easily able to beat the Miami Dolphins. Oh man, we've got ourselves a divisional game in the NFC least, baby. Another winless team. Is this the fourth winless team? I feel like that's a record so far through this point of the season, man. The New York Giants now also at 0-4, going to take on the Dallas Cowboys, sitting at 1-3. I just enjoy seeing the Cowboys be at a losing record. But for this NFC least matchup, I'm going to be going with Dallas. Obviously, they're the much better team. Obviously, they can't win games and they can't clutch up when it matters. But for this matchup, they're the much better team than the Giants. They should easily be able to win this division matchup. Man, this is a pretty interesting matchup. I definitely would have not predicted to see both of these teams sitting at a 3-1 record heading into this game, man. The Colts going to take on the Browns. Like I said, both teams at 3-1, and I think it's just even crazier to see Cleveland sitting at 3-1, man. Like, that just doesn't make sense seeing that sit next to their team name. But as for this matchup, man, I think it could be a good one, but I'm going to be going with the Colts, man. I just think Indianapolis, their defense, that's definitely a huge part of their team this year, man. The offense is just, they still got their struggles, man. I guess it's just, you know, Phillip Rivers, it's a brand new team to him, and it seems like it's taken longer than usual to be able to get that offense going, man, because the offense just doesn't seem to be able to move much. But I just think that defense, they're going to be able to play well against the Cleveland Browns, and I don't think that they're going to be able to beat the Colts, in my opinion. And now for our Sunday night football game, which is, you know, kind of early considering there's still 3 more matchups to talk about, which I kind of like having having these games spread out more like this so we can see more prime times. I don't know, man. I kind of hope it stays like this. But anyways, Monday or Sunday night football, we've got ourselves the Minnesota Vikings sitting at 1-3, going to take on the undefeated Seattle Seahawks sitting at 4-0, man. And obviously for this game, it's going to be the Seahawks coming out on top. I definitely think this is going to be a close game and going to be exciting to watch, no doubt, but I don't see Kirk Cousins and the Vikings being able to actually close out the game and get the win, because they've got their struggles this season. They've been in leading games this year and not been able to win them, but like I said, Russell Wilson, he's MVP caliber this year. They're absolutely dominating, and end of the game, I see Seahawks winning it. So for our first Monday night matchup, we've got ourselves the Denver Broncos sitting at 1-3, going to take on the New England Patriots sitting at 2-2. And man, at the start of the season, I would have said this is going to be a good matchup, getting to watch Drew Lock going to take on Cam Newton and his Patriots. But now as we sit here at week 5, we got tons of injury problems for Denver. Obviously, Cam Newton and Gilmore testing positive. They're out for the Patriots until who knows when. So it's going to be an interesting game. Going to be a lot of unfamiliar faces being on the field for both of these teams. And as for the winner, I think I've just got to go with the Patriots. They seem, they've got the few more pieces, despite all of the problems with both teams. And plus on top of it, you guys know the coaching. Belichick, he's going to find a way to be able to get the win. I can't imagine or can't remember the last time we've seen the Patriots with a losing record. So I just feel like it's more likely to see the Patriots going 3-2. And now for Monday night matchup number 2, we've got ourselves the 1-3 Chargers going to take on the New Orleans Saints, also sitting at 2-2. Got the same records for these teams for both these Monday night games, man. Pretty interesting. But anyways, for this matchup, we're obviously going with the Saints, man. Okay, listen, they're ready to kick ass. They're kicking it into gear, man. Okay, listen. Like I said, every year the Saints seem to do this. They lose 2 games at the start of the year, and then watch, they're going to go ahead and win the next like 9-10 games, and they're going to dominate. It happens every year with New Orleans. I don't know why they do it or what happens, but it always seems to turn out this way. But regardless of whether or not that actually happens, with this matchup, I do think that they're obviously better than the Chargers, and they're going to be able to come out on top. Drew Brees facing his old team. He used to play, when he was drafted and all that. I think he's going to be able to get the win, and I don't see the rookie Justin Herbert being able to come out on top over Drew Brees and his Saints. And finally, last but not least, we now have ourselves Tuesday night football, man. Yes, getting to watch an NFL game on Tuesday. It's going to be pretty fun, man. I'm excited about it. And it's a pretty fun matchup as well, a good one. We've got 2 undefeated teams, the 4-0 Buffalo Bills going to take on the 3-0 Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Tennessee coming off of their unexpected bye week because somebody messed up, man, tested positive, and almost half the damn team got it, man. Like, what, 12, 13 players tested positive for the Titans, man. Absolute mess. I mean, shame on the Titans, man. That one person who messed up is almost going to be costing the whole season, just ruining everything, man. So let's hope that everybody else in the league, stays smart and this doesn't happen to any other teams. But they're going to take on, like I said, the Buffalo Bills. They're undefeated also at 4-0, man. And there's no way I ride against Buffalo, man. They look like they're a good team this year, man, for sure. They obviously haven't played the greatest teams in the league, but on top of, as many players that are going to be out for the Titans, even if all those guys weren't out and this was like, both healthy rosters, I still think that the Bills are better and they would have come out on top. So obviously this matchup, we're going with Buffalo. And there you guys have it. There are my predictions for week 5 of the season, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. And like I was just saying a second ago, man, we just got to take this week by week, keep our fingers crossed, and hope that we get to watch football on our TVs every weekend and every Sunday, man, because we need the NFL, man. And it's like the Tennessee Titans, that one guy that messed up, he gives coronavirus to a quarter of the team, a lot of the personnel as well, and it's just like, that could have been bad news. That could have ended the whole NFL season. If they give that, when they actually play a matchup, other teams could have gotten it, and it's just like, it could have been a mess. I mean, think about if the Vikings ended up contracting it as well. It could have been terrible, man. But hopefully all these other teams, they're a lot smarter, and there's no stupid players like there are on the Titans, and we get the NFL, man. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.